I didn't completely break everything. Oh, I'm breaking everything. But we are at least still live on Rumble and Kick. Maybe. Okay, YouTube looks like it's back. I think so. Alright. Yes, he was fined a very small fraction of the money he probably made on his stock trading for failing to report it for months after it was done. So insider trading works for everyone, I guess, especially when you get fined $200 for probably making millions, at least hundreds of thousands, which needs to be fixed. It truly does. It's unfair for the people that actually play the stock market game by the rules. Yep. When people have power do it, $200 fine, slap on the wrist, doesn't even cut into the profits made by insider trading. So that happened. Shout out the $200 fine, I guess. And then, once again, President Trump makes the news. He makes it a couple of times over the weekend and into today. It says that he's now debating on whether dropping the $1.8 billion weaponization fund for those that were entrapped and unjustly punished for the January 6th Fedsurrection. So that happened. Apparently, Gavin Newsom got to his head or something. I'm not sure why he would back down from that. But it shows you the loyalty to his allies, which have very much so changed since January 6th, 2021. The allies have completely flipped. He is now on board with people that were sworn enemies at the same time. Thinking of, basically everybody in Congress, sworn enemy of him after January 6th Fedsurrection. Now, buddy, endorsing them for their seats while they represent foreign nations instead of their constituents. So that's neat. Another headline over, I believe this was at the end of last week. I forgot to throw it in, I guess, on the Friday show. North Carolina, where I was born, has experienced a 47,000% uptick in autism billings over the last 4 years. Sounds like they're taking a page out of the Minnesota fraud handbook. I'm completely unsure how you can have a 47,000% increase in autism in 4 years without either something being deeply wrong with what's going on nutritionally, or you're doing the same thing that Minnesota did in their Medicare, Medicaid fraud thing. I wonder what terrorist organization that money's going to, or at least where it is. It may not be going to Al-Shabaab in Somalia, but it's going somewhere. Somebody's getting rich off of it. But yeah, 47,000% might be time to look into that. Maybe the water's just got really bad since I moved away. It's like they're killing people with the water in North Carolina. They'll have autism now. Maybe. Probably fraud, though. Somebody should look into that. Isn't that J.D. Vance's job? The fraud czar? J.D., get on that. There's a story out of Florida today, I guess a development. Florida Attorney General James Utmeyer has announced the first state-led charges in the entire nation against OpenAI for deceptive practices and harms to Floridians, claiming that the company has put children at great risk. Good on Florida. James Utmeyer, legend as Attorney General, possibly the greatest in the nation right now. I mean, the dude's on top of it. He's on top of it. And I appreciate it. OpenAI, evil company. Evil company. From its inception as being a non-profit to going to for-profit to endangering children, I can't think of many positives to espouse of OpenAI, making everyone really dumb, unwilling to do their own work. Yeah, that's my opinion on them. Then you have the National Education Association, another story, the largest teachers union in the U.S., putting in their most recent magazine release, praise for those interfering with ICE operations alongside pro-LGBTQIA plus alphabet soup propaganda and anti-white propaganda, meaning the nation's foremost leader in teachers' unions is using, once again, or at least advocating for, indoctrination tactics on our nation's children. Should probably ban them. I wonder sometimes where they get their funding from, besides ripping off teachers. I wonder if, Code Pink does a little bit in there. It's just a curiosity I have. But we'll move on from the indoctrination of our students by teachers' unions, which is very prevalent here, believe it or not, to developments with America 250 that seemingly isn't going well at all. So numerous musicians are dropping out, like a lot. I believe we're beyond the 50% threshold as to where a majority of the musicians have dropped out of the America 250 Music Festival. So now it's being reported that President Trump is flirting with giving a speech instead to a music festival, as the planners of the event are struggling to find replacements for the acts. Which is, it's so emblematic of the dissent between half of this country and the other half. And it's like we're 250 years into this country and we have never been so far apart. And it's real sad. It just sucks in general that we can't even have musicians, most of which are well past their prime, to perform in honor of America in our history. Like, what an honor that would be. Yet our country is so divided that people are refusing to do so. But I guess there's always, somebody call up Kid Rock. Tell him America needs you. He'll be there. He'll be there. Call up Kid Rock, please. He'll fix this. Let's see. Another story. Google is planning to release 32 million genetically modified mosquitoes in Florida and California to, quote-unquote, help stop diseases. That can't go wrong. It's like this, and the tick box drops that have been occurring all over America that are unexplained. It's like, yeah, I'm sure putting mosquitoes everywhere is a stellar idea. Maybe Attorney General James Upmeyer can get on that as well before it begins. I don't want random genetically modified mosquitoes being dropped here. We have enough mosquitoes. The ones we have are fine. We don't need any more diseased mosquitoes, please. Like, I don't want, a beef allergy from the mosquitoes, too. Like, I don't want alpha-gal syndrome mosquitoes to help reduce emissions. Like, you can keep those in California. Don't bring them here. And it's also we spend so much money as a state to kill mosquitoes, to control mosquito populations. And now we're just dropping 32 million on top of that. It's like, I literally pay taxes here for the exact opposite to happen, not for you to give us more. So, yeah, that's a thing. Let's see. We've got two more things that you guys can look into. So there was a confirmed meteor which exploded over New England on Saturday. This one was confirmed, but there was also a loud explosion heard over South Carolina on Thursday of last week, if you haven't heard. NASA reports that it had no reports of a fireball and no satellites detected a meteor, meaning possibly not a meteor. The United States Geological Survey claimed that the sound was not an earthquake. The U.S. Navy Command for Air Operations says that it has no information related to the matter. And it's also, as of Friday, the Air Force and Marines were looking into the matter, but had no information to offer. So nobody knows what happened over South Carolina. I have my suspicions it's probably a meteor, very similar to the one in New England. However, they just didn't track it, didn't have information. I think that's the most logical explanation, more than likely. But it's kind of crazy that two of these would happen over the United States, less than a week apart. In fact, 2 days apart. Would be kind of crazy. So, I don't know. Maybe we're going through a meteor belt or something of the sort. Maybe we just got really unlucky twice, or maybe something else is going on. But apparently nobody knows what it was that exploded over South Carolina. Nobody has a clue. I'd like to think it was a meteor, but it could be the space aliens. It's the UFOs. That's what's happening. Nobody knows, but I think it's probably a missed meteor. That would be my best explanation. But that's also quite concerning that these are getting rather frequent if that is the case. And then you have a very interesting development coming out of Israel from over the weekend. Or maybe it was today. In the last 72 hours. Or maybe it was even last week. The Israeli government brought Christians from around the world into the Knesset to beg God for forgiveness of their own countries, for their country's failures to serve Israel as zealously as possible. Blasphemous, guys. No, don't do that. That's crazy. That is absurd. The state of Israel is not the one from the Bible. I hate to break it to everyone who believes that. It's just not. They share the same name, yes. Is it biblical Israel? By no means. By no means. You would think that they would have a much greater relationship with God if it was, but this is a construct coming out of World War I into World War II, which allowed for the colonization of the British Mandate for Palestine, funded by the Rothschilds. That's what current Israel is. In no way, to me, does that sound like God's mandate. That sounds like a human creation in the nicest way possible. More like societal manipulation, truly. But, yeah, apparently Christians from around the world went to the Knesset to stand on the stage in front of Israeli politicians to beg God for forgiveness for their country for not supporting Israel as much as they could. I don't know. Probably better things to pray about, guys. But that's just me. That's just me. But we'll move on to the good news segment of today's show. Hope you guys will drop a like on today's episode. maybe follow if you enjoyed as well. Follow on Kick and Rumble. Subscribe on YouTube. If you really liked it, you can subscribe on Rumble. It's $5 a month. Helps keep the show going. And you can do it for 1 month or indefinitely. I'd really appreciate it. Either way, let's see. What else is there? And obviously, once again, thank you guys so much every single day for showing up. Thank you for the ones who share the channel. You guys have really helped it grow over the last, 2 weeks. I've seen so much growth that I never would have expected. So I really appreciate you guys, the ones that stick around till the end and the ones that are sharing the episode every single day. I couldn't do it without you guys. But yeah, really appreciate it. And if you want to follow across multiple platforms, I'd really appreciate that as well. Turning on notifications so you know when we go live, all that good stuff. Like I said, we're going to get into the good news today. Once again, we're looking at the book of Proverbs, chapter 3. We're going to go through the whole thing. It reads, "My son, do not forget my teaching, but keep my commands in your heart, for they will prolong your life many years and bring you prosperity. Let love and faithfulness never leave you. Bind them around your neck. Write them on the tablet of your heart. Then you will win favor and a good name in the sight of God and man. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lead not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make your path straight. Do not be wise in your own eyes. Fear the Lord and shun evil. This will bring health to your body and nourishment to your bones. Honor the Lord with your wealth, with the first crops of all your crops. Then your barns will be filled to overflowing, and your vats will brim over with new wine. My son, do not despise the Lord's discipline, and do not resent his rebuke, because the Lord disciplines those he loves. As a father, the son he delights in. Blessed is the man who finds wisdom, the man who gains understanding, for she is more profitable than silver and yields better returns than gold. She is more precious than rubies. Nothing you desire can compare with her. Long life is in her right hand, and in her left are riches and honor. Her ways are pleasant ways, and all her paths are peace. She is a tree of life to those who embrace her. Those who lay hold of her will be blessed. By wisdom the Lord laid the earth's foundations. In understanding he set the heavens in place. By his knowledge the deeps were divided, and the clouds let drop the dew. My son, preserve sound judgment and discernment. Do not let them out of your sight. They will be life for you, an ornament to grace your neck. Then you will go on your way in safety, and your foot will not stumble. When you lie down, you will not be afraid. When you lie down, your sleep will be sweet. Have no fear of sudden disaster or of the ruin that overtakes the wicked. For the Lord will be your confidence, and you will keep your foot from being snared. Do not withhold good from those who deserve it. When it is in your power to act, do not say to your neighbor, "Come back later, I'll give it tomorrow," when you have it with you. Do not plot harm against your neighbor who lives trustfully near you. Do not accuse a man for no reason when he has done you no harm. Do not envy a violent man or choose any of his ways. For the Lord detests a perverse man, but takes the upright into his confidence. The Lord's curse is on the house of the wicked, but he blesses the home of the righteous. He mocks proud mockers, but gives grace to the humble. The wise inherit honor, but fools he holds up to shame. I think the moral of this chapter is that when you honor God, you listen to God's word, you live life how God commands you, you will you will be prosperous. You'll have wisdom. You'll have prosperity. But when you start to value the tenets of evil, you think evil can give you this prosperity, this wisdom, you're detesting God. You're turning your back on Him. And His wisdom, His strength, His all-knowingness, His love and His mercy. You're turning your back on Him. But when you do trust Him, you trust Him to provide what you need, and you do not worship evil for its evil deeds, you get these gifts. You get gifts much more than any actual wealth can provide you. And that's the glory of our Lord, is that He will provide. The Lord will provide for you what you need. He will provide for you when you are righteous. But when you are a fool, He will hold you to shame. I think the most important part of this is trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge Him, and He will make your path straight. Listen to the Lord's word. That's the most important thing you can do in this life, is listening to Him, honoring Him, and through this, you will get His understanding, which is even greater so than your own. And through this, He will make your path straight. He will point you in the right direction. He will do that with wisdom, with grace, with strength, with discernment. And He will guide you around these traps of evil, that you will not be caught in the snare. That's just the lovingness of our Lord, which we worship, is that He gives us this grace that we don't deserve as sinners, yet He chooses to pursue us with this grace in hopes that we come to Him, we worship Him. But He also doesn't appreciate when we mock Him. We mock Him with worshiping sin. And I think that's, something we all struggle with, is that sometimes sin looks more rewarding to us as humans than righteousness, whether it be because it's short-term gain or because we think it'll be fun, think it'll make it easy. It's not about easy. This life isn't going to be easy. That goes back to the original sin, where men will earn their crops by the sweat of their brow in Genesis, that there is suffering on this earth. Yet, when we follow Him, He saves us from this suffering. He saves us from this indefinite suffering. But all we need to do is follow His words, and we will be granted this wisdom. Like all the wisdom you need in life is in this book. Yet we still choose to think we're wiser. We choose to think that we're smarter than God, that we can somehow trick Him this time. And it never works out for us. It never does. He is the all-knowing, the all-powerful, and we need to accept that and use that for our own advantage in this human life. God is on our side. He is our advantage. He shrouds us in His armor, and His word is our sword. That is us as Christians. And that's all we need. We don't need to give in to this earthly sin. We need to submit to the Lord, to be a slave to righteousness as opposed to a slave to sin. That's all we have for today, guys. I'm going to do one last check and see if there's been any developments. I think we could be in for another tit-for-tat style night. I don't know that it's going to go full scale tonight, so that's great, especially with discussions taking place tomorrow, which are a tenet of this greater Middle Eastern war. So we'll see how that turns out tomorrow. But until then, hope you guys will drop a like on the show. Subscribe on YouTube, follow on Rumble and Kick. Hopefully share the episode as you guys have been doing for so long. Really appreciate that. It's really helped get numbers up. Honestly, never thought we'd get this far. So thank you guys for sharing, and thank the Lord for his grace and allowing me to continue to do this. And obviously, once again, thank you guys for sticking around to the end. But yeah, that should be it for today. I'll probably be live tomorrow. We just have to see how all this plays out. I mean, it could be a big news day tomorrow. If something happens tonight, it could be really slow and we wrap up before an hour. But today there was a little much, so it took a little longer than an hour, but that's fine. I hope you all enjoyed. And we'll wrap it up here. To my people on the East Coast, I hope you get home safe. To my people further west, I hope you finish up your workday strong and get home safe as well. I'll talk to you guys very, very soon.